This story was sent to me anonymously. The person who shared it didn't ask me to explain it or make sense of it. They only asked me to read it exactly as it happened. I don't know what they experienced. I don't know what caused it. This is their account. I heard someone breathing under my bed. I live alone in a small apartment on the second floor of an old building. Nothing about it is special. One bedroom, narrow hallway, thin walls. The kind of place you forget about when you leave. I work late shifts, so most nights I don't go to bed until after midnight. By the time I lie down, the building is usually quiet. No voices, no doors, just the low hum of pipes and the occasional car passing outside. That night felt the same as every other night. I turned off the lamp, pulled the blanket up, and lay on my side facing the wall. I remember feeling tired in a very dull way, not exhausted, just heavy. Like my body had already decided to shut down before my mind did. I don't know how long I'd been lying there when I heard it. At first I thought it was my own breathing. It sounded close, slow, and uneven. A soft inhale, a longer exhale. I held my breath for a moment without thinking about it. The sound didn't stop. It continued at the same rhythm, steady and patient, coming from somewhere below me. From under the bed, I stayed completely still. My first thought wasn't fear. It was confusion. I told myself it had to be the building air moving through pipes, or the mattress shifting. Old apartments make noises all the time. You learn to ignore them. But the sound wasn't mechanical. It wasn't random. It breathed, like someone trying not to be noticed. I turned my head slightly, just enough to look toward the edge of the bed. The room was dark, but not completely black. There was enough light from the street outside to see the outline of the floor. Nothing was there. The breathing continued. Slow, controlled. I remember thinking that if something really was under my bed, it would have moved by now. That thought helped calm me down. So I did what felt reasonable at the time. I told myself I was imagining it. I rolled onto my back and stared at the ceiling, focusing on my own breathing instead. In through the nose, out through the mouth. The other breathing stayed exactly the same. Not reacting, not syncing with mine. Just waiting. That was when I noticed something else. It wasn't just sound. I could feel it. A faint vibration through the mattress, barely noticeable, like the bed was resting on something alive instead of the floor. I wanted to sit up. I wanted to turn on the light. But my body didn't move. I've replayed that moment a lot since then, trying to understand why. I wasn't frozen in fear. I just didn't feel like moving was an option. The breathing stopped. The silence was worse. I don't know how to explain this part without it sounding strange, but the quiet felt intentional, as if whatever had been breathing was listening now. I closed my eyes. I told myself that if I couldn't see it, it couldn't see me. That's when it started again. Closer this time. Not louder, closer. The sound came from directly beneath my chest, as if whatever was under the bed had shifted upward. I could hear the wetness in it now, the slight catch between breaths. I don't remember deciding to pretend to be asleep. I just did. I slowed my breathing, let my face relax, let my body go heavy. I tried to make myself believe it. Minutes passed, or maybe seconds. Time felt unreliable. Then something brushed the underside of the mattress. Not a push. Not a grab. Just contact. Like fingers testing the surface, feeling for movement. I bit the inside of my cheek to keep from reacting. The pressure moved slowly, dragging along the fabric beneath me, tracing the shape of where I lay. I was very aware, in that moment, that my bed frame had open sides. There was nothing blocking access. The breathing was right below me now. I could feel warm air rising through the mattress with each exhale. It stopped again. Then, softly, so softly I almost missed it, I heard my name. It wasn't whispered. It wasn't spoken clearly. It sounded like someone trying to form the word without fully knowing how. I don't know how long I lay there after that. At some point, the pressure disappeared. The breathing faded. Eventually, I fell asleep. When I woke up in the morning, the room looked normal. Too normal. I checked under the bed. There was nothing there. No marks, no signs of anything out of place. I told myself it was a dream. I told myself that for weeks. Until it happened again. Not every night. Not even often. Just enough that I stopped sleeping with my bed against the wall. Just enough that I started keeping the light on. I don't live in that apartment anymore. I haven't heard the breathing since I moved. But sometimes, when I lie down in the dark, just as I'm about to fall asleep, I catch myself listening, and I make sure not to hang my blanket over the edge of the bed. That's where the message ended. I never heard from them again. I don't know what happened after that night, or if anything ever changed. If you're listening to this in the dark, and something feels familiar, you're not alone.